search of a functional way to get a more rugged feel for your truck, this Atlas roll bar in black is a great mod to consider for your 2020 or newer JT Gladiator. This has a very standout Baja-inspired appearance to it, making it a good choice to toughen up the look of your truck and get some utility in the meantime, whether you are taking gear or cargo along with you day to day, or just every so often, but you ultimately want a sturdy system to do it with. It also offers your build lighting options if you need an all-in-one solution that will give you both out-of-bed storage and additional visibility for wherever and whenever you need it. Aside from the chase rack appearance here, the biggest benefit is the cargo storage as well as the light mounting options that this offers for your JT. Now, as far as the sizing of the basket is concerned, this is really the only thing I have on the table because of the size of this basket, but this will have roughly a 24-inch by 48.5-inch surface here of wire rack that will allow you to mount really whatever you need on this large platform here. So if you need to take your gear, tools, equipment, or really anything that you can fit, this will allow it and support up to 150 pounds. Now, the rack and the basket both also integrate tough tie downs to secure really whatever you're taking with you for some peace of mind that it's going to stay in place and stay secure. Now, on the front of the rack, this also features a roof line light mounting system, universal to most fits and styles, as well as configurations and sizes of lights to further tailor this to your build. Now, this also comes with a third brake light on the back that will keep all of your lighting up to OE standard or street standards, and it even comes with a wiring harness that is integrated into the basket itself, so you don't have to do any crazy wiring once it comes time to hook that up. Now, this system is made of a 3-inch diameter steel tubing construction, making for a thicker build, and along with the toughness in the materials, that strength will also integrate some structural rigidity to your truck bed itself. Now, on top of the steel, this also has a black powder coat finish to protect it from rusting and any surface scratching that could potentially cause rust down the line. So if you do take your JT off-road and take a couple scratches to this, it is going to be a-okay. This also has some red in the accenting along the sides of the roll bar, matching with other red details or accents on the truck, and just creates more of a unique appearance to this. Now, most importantly, this kit again also includes a third brake light with built-in wiring to keep up to that OE standard, and it comes with everything in the kit in order to install it. I do want to mention that it does require some modification and drilling, but we'll get to all of those details in just a minute. This comes in at about $1,300, being more in the premium price spectrum compared to other choices, but for good reason. Now, most other chase racks and roll bar style choices in the category won't usually come with functional storage solutions like this one does, which will be good for you if you know that you need that dual purpose application for your truck. Now, it's also a shorter tubular choice over some steel plated options or even racks that span farther down the bed if you have a specific style in mind for your JT's build. Install is a 1 out of 3 on the install difficulty meter, and it should take about 2 hours to install this on your JT. Now, you do have to do some drilling in the truck bed to install this and have to do some modifications with tonneau cover application, so just keep that in mind when it comes time to install this. However, at this point, I'm going to pass you over to one of our installers. They're going to show you a detailed breakdown on how you can put this together and how everything is secured down to your truck. So that is going to wrap it up for what I have to say. Let's go ahead and jump into the install.
For this install, you need a 3/8 ratchet, a 3/8 extension, a 16, 13, 8 Allen, 6, 5, and 4 millimeter socket, wire, an 8 and 10 millimeter wrench, wire connectors, zip ties, wire strippers and wire crimpers, and a grabber tool. All right, today we're going to be installing a roll bar on our Gladiator, so let's get started. Now, before we start assembling anything, we're just going to address our wiring here. Now, our roof rack does have a third brake light, so we're going to need to wire that up. Unfortunately, the wire is not going to be long enough because we have to run it back to our tail light on our truck here. So I just have a couple spools of red and black wire. We're going to run them through our bar. This will meet up with the wiring on the rack itself. It's going to go through right here. There's a little grommet, run down the side, and then come out right here. So I have a pick, I have a grabber tool, and then we have our wire. Just gonna get that ran and get that pulled through. So we'll take our 2 wires. You could do this one by one, We're gonna try both at the same time and just see how it goes. Just gonna work that through. Hopefully it's going in the right direction. We'll find out. Let's try this one at a time now because they went the wrong direction. You could also, if you had something strong like welding wire or something that you could form, make that run the right way, that could work too. Let's see if we can grab that one. Go. Let's get the other one. Have our black wire, pull that through. And now we just need to fish the wires through this grommet right here, which can be kind of a pain, but just take your time. Just like that. Now, if you want, you can measure how far you're gonna need wire. Just pull that through and cut that off. We're gonna do that just off camera, just no big deal, just so we don't have to keep these spools attached. Now that we have our extra wire pulled out through the bottom, we have about 6 feet, should be enough. Nothing wrong with having extra wire. We're just gonna cut these off up here at the top, just so they don't accidentally get pulled through. Just gonna tape them down so we can continue assembling the rack. So now we're gonna get our rear bars assembled. As you can see, I already have the other one just loosely installed, just to help make sure it doesn't fall over. But what you're gonna do is go through this hole, and then you have a plug here on the front and the back. You simply just pull that out with your fingers, and then you have the larger one on the back too. We'll move around the back so you can see the access hole. And then it's gonna mount like so. Now there's a bolt threaded hole here. There's also a threaded hole in the back of this arm. For the front here, we have our smaller button head Allen bolt with a lock washer and a flat washer. We're just gonna loosely install this one back here. Then we're gonna go around from the front side of the bar through the rail, being careful not to drop our larger bolt, and thread it into the rail here. So on the front side of the bar, this is where the plug came off of. We're gonna go through. I have an 8mm Allen socket with an extension. I'm gonna put that on. Just wanna be very careful not to drop this down the bar. It might be a pain to get out. Just get that through. Get that lined up and threaded in. It's easier to do this by hand sometimes. Then you can grab your ratchet and tighten that down. Then we're just gonna switch to our 6mm Allen socket and just tighten down that front one. After they're both tightened, we're gonna reinstall our larger plug. Just push that into place, and then you can go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So now we have our crossbars flipped over, and now remember this is the front of the bed here. So we're gonna put our side pieces on, make sure that they're located correctly. The cutout here will go towards the front. They're gonna sit over our bottom of our bar like so and get mounted with our 2 countersunk bolts. Now we're gonna get them just hand threaded in here. They just go right to the bottom of the rails. Get that one started. And this one. And we're gonna thread these in as much as we can with our hand. Now these do come, you do get Allen keys supplied. Now it would just take a little bit to tighten these down. So we're gonna do a little bit of a tool hack here. So we got our 8mm Allen socket and an 8mm ratcheting wrench. Put that inside of itself, and you can go ahead and tighten that down. Now this will also help because you may need to come back after the rack is on and adjust these sidebars so you can loosen and tighten it the same way. Go ahead and do that to the front bolt too. All right, now you go ahead and do the same thing on the other side for this same piece. All right, so we have our roll bar flipped back over. We're gonna get our mount on for our top basket. Now we have our hex bolts with a lock washer and flat washer. We're gonna get our front bracket on first. There's already 3 threaded holes. We're just gonna get these back 2 started. Like so. Now if those are started, you just gotta push down to get this front one lined up. All right, now that those are started, we'll get our other 2 started in this bracket here. Now these brackets are the same on our side. These back ones, just make sure that it sits so that this part is flat. Get those 2 threaded in. Then we're gonna grab our ratchet and 13mm socket and tighten all these down. Now you can go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Next, we can get our top rack here and just set it on those mounts we just installed. Line everything up, and then we have our bolts and nuts that we're gonna install in our 4 mounting locations. So at our 2 locations on either side, we're gonna get our hex bolts with a lock washer and a flat washer, put them through the top, and then we have a flat washer and a nut to go through on the bottom. We'll just get both these loosely installed and then we'll tighten them down. So we'll grab our ratchet with an extension, 13mm socket, and 13mm wrench, and tighten all 4 corners down. So now we can either go through the top or the bottom, just whichever is easiest. So you can see here, not getting on that great. So we'll use our ratchet on the bottom, a wrench on top. Just go ahead and do the same thing for the other one on this side. And just go ahead and repeat that for the other 2 mounts on the other side. Now that we have this complete, we just have to put our top bar on. I just wanted to mess with the wiring here. So you see you have our wiring harness that went from our top rack into our rail. You'll notice we don't have our other wires there right now. And I was trying to pull them through by attaching them together and pulling them through completely, and they came disconnected. No big deal. So I just took this bottom rail off here so I could access the bottom like I did before with our grabber, fish this wire through, down, and then pull it through. So we'll just have this down here, and then we'll connect it to our extension wires that we already made. But we're just gonna get this ready to get installed into our truck. We just have our top crossbar to go on. All right, now we're gonna get our accessory rail installed. Now we already have this one just assembled, just so we got it spaced out evenly. We're gonna put our block underneath. Then we have our button head bolt with a lock washer and flat washer, and then a flat washer and our nut on the bottom. Then we'll take our ratchet and 5mm Allen socket and a 13mm wrench, tighten them both down. All right, now I got a buddy here to help me lift this up into the bed. So now we're inside, we're gonna attach our roll bar to our factory rail here. So we're just gonna get our bolt plate and go through like so. Slide that all the way forward. Need to just pull this up. And then we'll get our bolt plates in one at a time. As you can see, there is a pretty good gap here, so we're just going to press our roll bar out just so we can get that in place. But on each spot, we're going to do a flat washer and a nut. Get that on there, and then our nut. Get that on there a little bit, and push it back, and it's going to twist and lock into place. Now, as you can see, I did get all of these threaded on. Now, it was a little bit difficult. We had to mess with it a little bit off camera. You can either have a buddy pull this. I already had the other side bolted in just to help keep those in place. For the other side, since it is a little bit closer together, just had a buddy pull it, or you can even just put your feet against this, push against it, and push yourself against the other side of bed, get them to thread that on. But once these are threaded on and they're turned slightly in this rail, we'll be able to tighten them down. We're gonna grab our ratchet and a 16mm socket and tighten all 3 of these down on either side. All right, go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Now for our side panel, it is a 3-piece panel. So we have our inside, our middle red piece, and then our outside with our logo. Now already assembled the other side, just trying to figure out how everything fit together. But we're just gonna assemble that like so. We're gonna get our small M6 button head Allen bolts. We got a lock washer and a flat washer. Just gonna get them, and then a flat washer and a nut on the back side. Just gonna get all 4 of them in place, and then we can tighten them down. Now we're gonna grab our ratchet and 4mm Allen wrench and a 10mm wrench on the back to hold the nut and tighten these down. Now you just wanna adjust them properly so that you don't see any of that red showing through the bolt hole. We're just gonna get one snug and we'll be able to move it. So now we got that snug, we can go ahead and tighten them all down. Now you can go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So here's where we're gonna attach our wiring. And we have our 2 wires coming out of our roll bar, and then we have our 2 extension wires. And we're gonna connect them together with butt connectors. So we already have these stripped back, but if you need to, just grab some wire strippers, slide that in there, grab some crimpers and crimp them down. The butt connector on our black wire also. And we're gonna connect them to our wires from our roll bar. Now we have our red and our black. Just connect them together. Go ahead and crimp that. Make sure you have a good connection. We'll do the same for our black. Now you can run these wires however you want. We're gonna run them down the front side of our bed here, underneath along our frame, so we can come up in between our tailgate. Since our brake light and turn signals are on the same wire on our taillights, we can't go into our taillights for this purpose, for our third brake light, otherwise it would flash when you throw on a turn signal. So we're gonna run it underneath, along the frame, along on the wiring harness that's down there, come up in the middle of the tailgate. All right, so I know it's pretty tough to see under here, but you can just route this the best way that you want. So I went from the front of our bed, ran it along our frame above our muffler and heat shield here. You'll see this wiring harness right here running next to our exhaust with our brake lines. Now I have our 2 wires. I pretty much already have them ran. I just need to secure them up. Just grab a couple zip ties. Just secure these best you can. You just want to make sure that it stays away from the exhaust here. We're gonna zip tie that there. We'll throw one more further back. And then continue along the rear of our frame. If you want, you can just go to the brake lines. I grabbed some small zip ties, so they don't really fit that well. Just the key thing is to make sure it's out of the way of the suspension and anything hot. So just keep going back. I just routed above our spare tire along our frame, secured it in a couple spots. You can't really see them. So we're just gonna continue back. And you can go to this harness right here. After this harness here that you're connecting to, there is going to be an access panel for the wiring for our third brake light, which is on our tailgate and our camera. So we'll go up in the bed and you'll be able to see that. So you're gonna see this access panel right in between your tailgate and the back of your bed. Now there's a tab here that you're gonna push and you can pull this completely out. I already pulled it out just so we can fish our wires through. You'll see we already have T-taps on here. I already did a little bit of testing just to make sure that we had the right wires. So we have our white wire with a stripe there, that is our power, and our black wire with a gray stripe here. You could go on the same side of the connector. I just staggered it just to make a little bit more room. But we already have a spade connector on our power, so we'll just plug that in here. We'll get a spade connector on our negative. And I already stripped it back because I was testing. So grab some wire strippers and just strip it. Put your connector on. And then crimp that down. Go ahead and plug that into our negative here. Just tuck your extra wiring in there. And you can secure this cover back in place. Just like so. And that wraps up our install of our Atlas roll bar, colored black for our 2020 and newer Jeep Gladiator JT. And remember, for everything Jeep, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.